Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Let's talk about 90 Day Fiancé because, oh my God, we have not talked about this in a minute. And one thing I wanted to talk about, and is a question that I always get in my comments, was how much do these cast members make and is it worth it? Because a lot of drama happens on the show. If you remember last season, now I realize I have not been covering 90 Day Fiancé the other way, and I'm getting so many questions about why. I took a little break after 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days because of how much drama there was with the last cast. So getting back into it, I wanted to talk about how much these cast members get paid. Now, in the world of reality TV, you can have people make a ton of money. In fact, the girls that appear, or the young women, I should say rather, that appear on Teen Mom can make anywhere from $300,000 to $450,000 a year. Real Housewives can actually make over $1 million per season. Yes, there are some very high-paying reality TV gigs out there, and they aren't even the highest ratings winners. The number one ratings show right now in reality television is 90 Day Fiancé. The cast members are couples, international, that are coming and to the United States typically, or else going the other way, and they are getting a K-1 visa, which gives them 90 days to get married, and the show covers a variety of different relationships, from those that are completely authentic to the proverbial scam. Along the way, you get a ton of conflict related to cultural differences, meeting family members, issues with working, all the different dynamics that play into it. It creates an incredibly volatile experience that the audience absolutely eats up, but over the years, the show has become a very fabricated, and a lot of fans are accusing it of being faked. So a lot of people have wondered, like, how much do these cast members get paid? And I will tell you, it's not very much. Not very much at all. In fact, Eric Rosenbrook and Leida Margarita sat down on the Dom Natty show to talk about why they had made the decision not to go back to 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After. They had been pinned to be on the very next season and declined because they say they were not paid. They're not paid enough for the amount of headache that they get with the show. For instance, they claim that producers actually hold over their heads the contracts and force them. Leida said that they asked her to always kick up the dramatics and ensure that she is doing things in her scenes to bring the most drama, which then will bring the most view. They claim that Leida was unfairly edited in a way to look sort of like a step monster to her younger daughter, and that she isn't exactly who they portrayed her on the show. And because of the fact that they are paid so little, how much? They say $1,000 per person per episode. And if it's a foreign person coming into the United States, they are paid nothing. Because people on the show that are from another country while filming in the United States and not having work permits, TLC will not pay them. So do they actually pay the other person double for the two people? Not necessarily. In fact, no. They say that they make anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 for an episode for 90 Day Fiancé, and they can make about $2,500 for the tell-all. An average season has around 13 episodes plus the tell-all, which means that the average cast member, the American, can make about $18,000 a season. Eric went on to explain how he negotiated for the next season on the Dom Natty show.
You look at the recent announcements, like salaries of reality TV stars, and it's like the most popular one, 90 Day Fiancé, pays the least, like by a lot.
Yeah.
And it's really insulting, but for what we go through and what they put us through,
it's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
So,
it's not worth it.
From what I heard, it's like $1,000 an episode.
Our season, yes.
Yeah. And it maybe have gone up a little bit now. You know,
it goes up if you're on like Happily Ever After. It goes up.
Yeah,
like,
Happily Ever After start from 2,500. But you can negotiate. You can get 3,000 or 4,000 per person. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they turned down our counter offers, so we're
Because
like, all right,
we
they must
made
not
it
want us that bad.
impossible.
Yeah, we counter offered with something that they couldn't, that they
Yeah.
wouldn't do. So
Oh,
just so
okay.
they'd stop asking us.
Yeah.
Oh, so they were saying we'll give you what, a couple grand an episode. You said you countered, like, was
Yeah.
it 10 grand an episode?
No, I
Yeah.
think, what do we say, like 4,000 per person per
No,
episode?
5,000.
5,000
Yeah,
per
5,000,
person
yeah.
per episode. And I was like,
Yeah.
man, I want a truck. Give me a truck.
Anyone in a truck? Yeah.
So Eric says that he asks for $5,000 per episode and for him and Leida, and they decline, and then he throws in a truck. Apparently, they just didn't want to be on the show, so they say they asked for an amount that is way more than the network would actually give them. Now, here's the thing that I find really bizarre. So Danielle Jabali, who was actually on the very first season with Muhammad, she says that when she and Muhammad were on the show, Muhammad was paid nothing, and she actually gave a portion of the money to him or shared it with him when he was in the United States. The only time that the international cast member will actually make money is if they are on the series 90 Day Fiance the other way, or before the 90 days where they're in their home country. Otherwise, this show is basically getting a ton of work for free. So the international cast member makes no money by coming to the United States. They put their entire relationship out and then have a contract. The NDAs on these are incredible. In fact, they were talking about the NDA in here, and they said that when it comes to the show, they are bound by an NDA that claims that they cannot break it for 9 months following the show, which means that if they were to say anything that could potentially damage what happened on the show or ruin the storyline that TLC puts together, they can be fined up to $50,000 per infraction. Regarding what can happen in terms of the breach of contract, they say that while they may not be fined, they allege that producers actually hold the contract over their heads in order for them to work out or sort of put together scenes that will add the most drama, intrigue, and interest for the show. So last season, one of the biggest complaints was like everyone was complaining how fake it was. They felt like even some of the couples were faked. One of the couples that got a lot of heat for being faked were Stephanie and Erica. At the very end of the season, Stephanie came out and they had this argument, and she threw a bowl. And Stephanie went on to Instagram and basically said they had arranged this entire dispute, but that it escalated above and beyond what the producers wanted them to talk about. So the producers told them that they needed to have this conversation, and that as a part of it, they would have sort of this dispute, and they were going to throw something. She was going to throw bread, and then she apparently decides to throw a bowl because she got more angry than she thought she would. So they set it up, and then they actually end up having a real argument as a part of it. And the two of them actually ended up breaking up. So when you have producers manipulating things and then cast members who actually can't say anything, it creates this weird dichotomy where they can be portrayed in a certain way and it's not actually what happened. Now, this shouldn't be uncommon because like producers on these shows can basically edit and put you on in any way that they want. When you sign your contracts, they can edit and manipulate it in any way that they want to create the best show possible. However, the NDA part is interesting because breaking it means that they may not even get their money. Danielle Jabali actually said last year that they get half of their payment at the beginning of the season and the other half at the end. So they could be theoretically on the hook. They could be theoretically making about $18,000, but if they actually break the NDA, then they only get the first half and then the rest is kept by TLC. It seems as though the contracts are not in the favor of the cast members, and it makes you wonder why TLC is doing such a low budget for a show that makes them so much money. Think of it this way, like the Sister Wives make $180,000 currently, but when their show was at its peak, they were making $180,000 each per season. The Duggars have made tons of money as well. Kate and John Goslin of Kate and John Plus 8, they were making over $1 million. So why is it with this show they are doing so little? Is it that they don't want to manipulate and impact the sponsorship levels so that because anyone that comes into the United States, the spouse has to be able to sponsor them and show income levels? Is it that they don't want to have to factor that? They don't want to be seen as paying for the visa or any of the immigration? I don't know. It makes no sense to me. Now, Happily Ever After, they said, those cast members can get up to $2,500 per episode per person, or $3,000, and they are then on the hook to be on any other show coming up. So if they sign for one season, they can end up on this. TLC can basically tell them that you have to film in another season on another show in another branch of 90 Day Fiance, regardless if you want to or not. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me if they're not making very much money, why they would do this. $18,000 to have your entire life humiliated, or going on and being on Happily Ever After and making $30,000 to literally have your entire life scrutinized. Is it worth it to you? Would you be able to bite your tongue if you knew that you couldn't say anything for up to 9 months after, that if you do speak out, they could enforce $50,000 per infraction, and that you have producers basically manipulating and telling you what to do? And does this actually influence you on whether or not you would watch the show? I would love to hear your thoughts. Tell me in the comments below. Bye, guys.